greatest common factor. Was it yesterday we talked about factors? Yes, indeed it was. Let's just take a look at a couple numbers here. Before we even define greatest common factor, let's look at the number 12. If I asked you to list all factors of 12, you would say to me, Grace, what are all the factors of 12?
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Okay, again, making sure you have, everybody has this little pair, 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Now, what if I asked you to list all factors of 18? Factors of 18, Bella Nuzo would be
1, 2, 3, 9.
All right, once again, let me go back to the Wayback Machines to yesterday. When you do this, you should try to do them in the pairs that they go with. In other words, if 1 is a factor, 1 times what is 18? 18. So always think of that. If 2 is a factor, 2 times what is 18? 9, right? And if 3 is a factor, 3 times what, Bella, is 18?
3 times 18.
3 times what is 18?
6.
6. Is David right? Yes, he is. So you should look at them in groups, okay? So the first thing we look at is, if you have two numbers, what are their common factors? What factors do 12 and 18 have in common? In other words, which ones do they both have? Well, they both have a 1, correct me if I'm not correct. They both have a 2, correct? They both have a 3, correct? And they both have a 6. They have 4 common factors, 1, 2, 3, and 6. But what I'm looking for, what the book is asking you for, is what is the greatest common factor, in which case that would be this one right here, the number 6. And that, by the way, when you see these letters, G, C, F, rather than always writing out the words greatest common factor, they will give you this instead, just because it saves us a lot of time. So the greatest common factor is the largest factor 2 or more numbers have. Which would lead you to ask this one very crucial question here. Why don't they ask us for the least common factor? Alex?
They will sooner or later. They will ask that.
I doubt whether they will. Only for one very, very, very obvious reason. The least common factor. Andrew?
Well, always be one.
Yeah. Every number has 1 for their smallest factor, so they won't ask you that because it's always going to be 1. So they will ask you for the greatest common factor because it comes up a lot in working with fractions and other things. So here, what is the GCF of, let's say, 15 and 24? Now, you probably, at this young stage of your academic lives and mathematicos, at some point, and even some of you now probably could tell me that answer right off the bat. But it is better for you to actually write down the common factors and take a look at them. And then be able to give me the answer to that, as opposed to just guessing at it. What is the greatest common factor that 15 and 24 have? Yeah. Yes. 3 is correct. 3 is its greatest common factor. What about, I don't know, 30 and 25? Greatest common factor? Sammy, can you tell me without much ado? 5. Greatest common factor is 5. What about, I don't know, 18 and 20? Greatest common factor of 18 and 20. Caitlin says, no, 4 doesn't go into 18, no. Alex? 2, I believe, is probably right. What about 18 and 30? Greatest common factor. Ryan?
6.
6. Yeah, probably 6. And most of them are pretty obvious. I don't think there's any better feature of the card. Oh, what about 3? How about this one? The book asks you this one. What about 20, 30, and 60? Caleb? 10, unfortunately, is not correct. There is one larger than that. Peggy?
20.
20, actually, yeah. And again, you probably would do well to write out all the factors and see. You know that the factor can't be any bigger than the smallest number.
Yes.
So that would probably be a good check for you on that. That's what we can help.